Hi guys, Lee Cole here. Thank you so much for looking at this quick video. And I am super excited because I got my buddy Tom Gaddis on here. And Tom, as you and I just talked about, I interviewed you on your first product. It was a dynamic interview. You and Nick have created so much cool stuff since then and really helped our community. And you've got another product. So let me ask you about that. You know, I just shared with you that I read the sales letter. And it's about getting clients, but can you flesh it in for us from there? And by the way, say hello to everybody.
Sure. Aloha, everybody. Tom Gaddis here. I'm in my Maui lair, right?
Yes, I hate Tom too. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's really awesome to be on here with you, Lee. I really appreciate you doing this. And I remember that first interview. I was so excited when, because that was my first product I ever put out, right?
Oh,
and
yeah, I remember.
When your email came through promoting it, it was one of the first ones I saw. And I called my wife in the office and I was like, look, my product's getting promoted. She was like, oh, yeah, that's great, honey. You know, and then she just went to whatever she was doing.
I have a wife too.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about it. So it's called Remote Client System. And it's really a foot in the door. I guess you could call it a foot in the door strategy. It's a prospecting method that allows you to go out and get clients wherever they may be, right? You know, I know a lot of times when we talk about getting clients, we talk about getting clients in your immediate area, people that you can meet face-to-face and build a relationship with. But this process really allows you to target clients that are anywhere you want them to be, right? And it's got some great elements to it that are built in, that it kind of sets you up as credible and authoritative, even if you don't have any clients. And kind of the way we do that. So let me tell you a little bit about the guy behind the product. So his name is Tom Buford. He's a guy in our community, and he came in, I don't know, maybe about a year ago with us, started putting some of the things that we taught into practice and really just having killer success, right? He's a father. He's got 2 kids. He works out of his house. He's been able to grow his agency. I think he's doing somewhere between 8 and 10 grand a month right now, which is really awesome. And, you know, just a normal guy, just like, just like most of us, just a normal guy wanting to do something where he can work from home. And really what he did was he took one of our kind of strategies and he put it on steroids. And that strategy was, we had a product a while back where we kind of talked about our strategy of doing audits to bring clients in, right? And our process was pretty manual, and we charged because it was a lot of work to do these audits and stuff like that. But what Tom saw in that was a great tool to get people into his agency. So what he started doing was doing these little they're like screencast audits, we call them. And you don't have to be on camera to do them. Like you can just share your screen, and he goes over the potential issues that these clients are facing, right? Talks about, what the things are that he sees. He targets a lot of different services, whether it's websites, whether it's paid advertising, whether it's social media. He can really customize these things based on what that specific prospect needs, right? And he's just, through trial and error, man, he has put together a process that is just, it's really impressive, just the way he structures these little screencast audits, what he puts in there, how he identifies the people that he wants to target, and then just the way he delivers everything. And none of it is complicated, right? You don't have to buy any expensive software or anything like that.
Let's put a pin in the conversation right there for a second, because let me just summarize what I heard. Your product, I mean, you and Nick are killing it. You're also really good at teaching this.
Oh,
I mean, just gifted at that. You have this guy, Tom. Tom basically took your audit method, which was a product that you had released, like 3.5 years ago, something like that, if I remember, something in that order. And that worked. I mean, that is a way that I've gotten clients in the past. But basically your audit client getting thing was really labor intensive for you. I mean,
Yep.
there's a ton of stuff to do, and then you send them and blah, blah, blah. And then some of those people become clients, which is cool because you're getting a client who, if you're selling the right thing, is going to pay you a lot of money over time. And it's not cool because it takes a lot of work to get one client. All right. So,
Yeah.
what I heard from what you just said, Tom took that and massively streamlined it.
Yeah, really made it something that you can do. You can reach out to multiple clients in a day. It's a
Loving
pretty
that.
straightforward, easy process,
And
right?
you call it a screencast,
We call it
what?
a screencast audit.
Screencast
Because
audit. And
yeah,
yeah, okay, because why?
yeah. Well, mainly because like, you don't, if you want to be on camera, that's good. Like you can have a little thing in the corner that shows your face. But if you don't, you can just have an image there as well. But, they actually get to hear you and hear you talk about what their issues are, which, builds up some credibility and kind of shows that you know what you're talking about. Right. And it points out some pain points for them. And so Tom has just done a good job of being able to identify, okay, I have a list of prospects. So he takes a look at them and see, okay, what are the things I can help them with? And then just his kind of structure for putting these audits together to get those people to reach out to him is really good, right?
So Tom, I mean, just in broad strokes from what I'm hearing, he took your audit method of prospecting and essentially cut out the fat.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Like it's not labor intensive. Like you don't have to spend hours doing an audit. Like these are all really quick things that are easy for you to identify and just point out to them, right?
that's very, very cool because that results in you being able to approach more potential clients per unit time. And also the other thing I loved about what you said, because it's really how I do things, is the building of that personal credibility. I
Yeah.
love that because, you know, people, I mean, it's according to what business they're in, but some businesses get hammered all day long with stuff, and other businesses never get an email about anything. But I mean, it's one thing to get a cold email about, hi, I'm so and so, and I can do this, and here's this link, and then people all freeze up about, I mean, is it spam? Is it not spam? I mean, there's just so much stuff, and then they go to some website, some landing page, and there's a certain amount of lack of personality there, right?
Yep.
There's a great deal of cookie cutterness, and I love what Tom does, which is basically he's sending people a link to a video, but it's a very personal experience. It's like, I mean, from what I'm getting from what you're saying, and you gave me access to the product and all that stuff, you know, here's your business, here's where your problems are, blah, 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 blah. I can help you out with that. But see, there's a credibility, which is so important. There's a credibility being built from the get-go right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And they see you as a real person. The other thing too is like that process that you described in the beginning, that's just what everybody's doing, right? And these local
Yes.
businesses, like they get hammered day in and day out by people that all sound the same. And one of, I think, the death of when you're trying to do this kind of stuff is if you sound like everybody else, it's going to be really hard to break through. And these really allow you to break through that, right? You don't sound like everybody else. You're unique. It's different. Allows you to get in there. The other thing that Tom discovered, and I'm not going to spill the beans on what this is, but
no bean spilling. No
bean spilling. But I will tell you this: he found a place online where people are looking for services that we offer, right?
Mm.
And so it's something that I'd never even thought of. I would never in a million years have thought of prospecting there. And, it's not LinkedIn, it's not Facebook, it's not Google. And he took this method and went into that space, and he's just been like picking off clients like crazy. And so in the training, we show you where that is, what he's doing, how he's doing it. Plus he shows you how you can use this process and these simple screen share audits to target people in other areas too, if you want, like LinkedIn or Google. You can, it works there as well. But this other place that he kind of found is really, like, I think one of the best things in the product is just knowing like, oh, it's not going to be saturated. It's not something that people can just, there's not going to be a gazillion people going there and taking up all the business. Like, there's new business being talked about there every day. And
I'm loving this. I caught that in the sales letter. I mean, you said that
yeah,
Tom had really found, I wouldn't, I'm not sure if it would be a better place, but I guess because of lack of competition, it might even be a better place than LinkedIn or somewhere like that. But he's got a new place where it's fairly easy to cherry pick using his method,
yep,
really, really good clients. And you know, the thing that stops it, there are a couple of other things I want to make sure that the listeners to this interview really understand. What stops people is getting business. Understanding how to do this stuff does not stop people. I mean,
yeah,
when you can go out to Fiverr and hire somebody for $50 or less to do anything that you want them to, then fulfillment is not an issue, right?
right. Yeah, it's not.
The deal that stops people is getting clients. So a couple of things that you said about that. I love the fact that Tom's thing works remotely. I don't know about you, but you know, I've been doing this stuff a long time. And I've noticed that in the teaching of how to do this, I've noticed the people on my list used to all come from the United States, a little bit Canada, and maybe one or two people from Oz, right? But they were all that group of people. I was actually talking to a person that you and I would both know, a good friend of mine, about this the other day. I've noticed that, you know, just globally, my list has become massively more global of people who want to know how to do this. So I love the fact that Tom's thing can be done completely remotely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, somebody living in Croatia, and I got people from Croatia on my list. Matter of fact, I had a person from there on my webinar yesterday. So somebody living in Croatia could do this and be selling to the United States, selling to England, selling to Canada, you know, selling to the countries where you have a lot of businesses that are buying stuff like this. I love that part. And I also love the part that this is non-scary selling, right?
Yeah.
You know, because people, I mean, my experience, look, I love selling. I am a big ham. Okay. Put me in front of an audience. I'm fine. Okay. I'm a freak. I know that. That puts me in like 0.00001% of the population, just way over on one side of the bell curve, right? And your average person hates that, right? So, but your average person also wants to get into the kinds of things we do and build a new relationship with business, money. You know, I love also the fact that you said that Tom's just a normal guy. You and I are normal. Well, you may not be a normal guy, but I'm like a really
I am a
normal
normal guy.
You are.
I am a normal guy.
Well, yeah. Okay. So we'll just take your word for it. And, you know, one of the things was he wanted to basically build a business that he could run at home so that he could like hang out with his family. You know,
Yeah,
I'm sitting here at home. You're at home. I got my two dogs in the other room who for some don't say anything, but for some crazy reason, they are being quiet at the moment. They're two rescue
good.
lab mixes and they're crazy as hell. What a beautiful way to live, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, it is an amazing lifestyle.
yeah, the remote thing. I love the fact that it's remote. I love the fact that it's simple. Let's get into a couple of other things that I know people are going to want to know. One of which I already asked you about, and the other I haven't, but it will be no surprise. What? So people on my list, you know, like people that go to my webinars, that they literally, some of them literally hatched out of the egg yesterday. I mean, their little feathers are still wet. Okay.
Right.
And then we got other people who are running really nice businesses already. They're just looking for an additional income stream. And we got the whole gamut of people, right? So in terms of what is Tom selling and what can one sell using this system, have you covered that? Because I know a lot of people who are new are going to say, well, that's really cool. I can get clients, big freaking deal, because I don't know what to do with them, right?
Yeah. So, you know, in the course, we do talk about the services that Tom offers. Obviously, like, you know, we can't go into the details of how to fulfill every service. You know, he does cover like some of the basic ones, like paid advertising, websites, things like, social media, things that are pretty simple. One thing I would say to those people is like, it's just like you mentioned in the beginning though, like really the reason that we don't, like kind of our thing in this market has been to put out ways to get clients. And the reason we focus so exclusively on that is because it's just like you said, in today's day and age, fulfillment is not hard. Like you can find people to fulfill things. And the really shift for me came when it's really hard when you're sitting there, you don't have any clients, you're wondering, how am I going to fulfill it? You don't have any money coming in. Like there's just nothing you can do, right? You have no way to resolve that problem.
Right.
But if you can start bringing 1 or 2 or 3 clients in and get some cash flow coming in, like fulfillment becomes astronomically easier because now you have some cash flow to work with, right? So knowing that you can go and find somebody that can build a website, for a reasonable amount of money, $500-600, whatever that may be, really nice websites. Those people are all over the place. Like, and if you have the money already, it's easy to find them and connect, right? The hard part though is getting the clients in the first place. Like, what do you do first? Our experience has been to kind of build those things simultaneously. So be prospecting for clients, getting money coming in, and then using that other people's money to go out and find people to do that fulfillment and stuff like that.
So I've done 2 webinars this week for different groups of people on my list, my peeps. And in both of those webinars, I remember, because I'm trying to help people understand the mindset, right? And I'm saying, like in both those webinars, I'm saying, look at your average corporation. Now, forget the CEO and the investors and maybe a few vice presidents, but look at your average corporation. Who is pulling down most of the money? It is not the people loading the boxes into the truck. Okay. It is not the people sitting there cranking out the websites. It's not the people even doing stuff like SEO for Google My Business pages. It's the salespeople. The salespeople are the one who are making the lion's share of the money. It's frankly because their job is the hardest, and it's really kind of rough on the old ego, right?
Yep.
And trying to get people on my list to understand that, because a lot of people get into this offline thing because they get really interested in this is what happened to me. They get really interested in the internet, and then it hits them. Oh my God, I'm so interested in this. Wow, I can make money doing this. How could life get any better, right? But then because they lack a specific way of getting clients, they're totally stymied and they get remarkably frustrated. So I love the fact that what you focus on, and especially in this training, what you focus on is getting clients. Because look if you can get clients, if you can get somebody to pay you a decent amount of money, right? I mean, especially now that Fiverr removed that ridiculous $5 cap off of everything. I mean, I can get the most amazing service providers on Fiverr. If I can't find them there, I can go to Upwork. And if I can't find them on Upwork, I can go find some Reddit thread somewhere and find them there.
Yep.
Who are working for what I personally would consider peanuts. I mean, I'm not even getting out of bed for that amount of money, right?
Right.
It is what it is. So I love the fact that your product is focusing on the big thing that people really, really need. And I'm really excited that I'm seriously excited about the global aspect of it, that it's remote. And I'm really excited that it's a low stress, low non-salesy, but yet very personal and personable way for them to.
Yeah, I think that's Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
Lee. Please. No. You're going to finish my sentence for me. Go, please.
No, I just think that's a huge key. What you just mentioned, like the fact that you're, this particular method allows you to almost have an in-person conversation without having to be in person. And that takes all the stress off of you. If you're not an extrovert, if you're not a natural born salesperson, like you don't have to stress about that, because putting these together the way Tom lays out does that for you, right? And you just send them, like you don't have to be there.
I love that. And, again, I do a lot of teaching webinars for my peeps. So again, on a webinar recently, I was talking about a specific way of doing this. And I said, look, if you're doing this stuff right, okay, by the time you are actually talking to a potential client, whether you do that on a Zoom meeting like we do, or you're doing it on the phone or whatever, if you're doing this stuff right, they are essentially pre-sold already. They like you. They really know that they want the thing that you're selling. Basically your job as a salesperson, and I think it would be really true with Tom's method, your job as a salesperson is not to screw this up. They're going to buy. Just sit there, look like the person that was talking in the video, don't screw it up. Just answer their questions. Tell them, honestly what's going to happen. Here's how you pay. Here's the deal if you don't like the service or whatever it is you're selling. Here's what's going to happen next. Here's the next time I'm going to get in touch. Just all that onboarding stuff. If you can do that, that is not selling. That's just common sense helping someone, right? It's just as much. It's about as hard as if you were standing on the corner of some street in a city that you knew well. Okay. So you live in Maui. So let's suppose that for some reason tomorrow I woke up in Maui. Well, number one, I would never come home. But forget that part. But let's say I was lost. Okay, and you come down the street in a car and you're saying, "Hey Lee, what are you doing here?" "I don't know, man. I just woke up here, but I'm seriously lost. I need to go find a place to eat breakfast." "Oh well, let me show you how to get there." If you can get selling down to let me help you, to the let me help you level, which Tom's thing is going to do with the pre-branding, life becomes so much easier. Your conversion rate skyrockets. And also, as an added benefit, your clients already like you, which means that, hint, hint, they're going to be so much more predisposed to buy other stuff from you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and your stress level of selling is almost non-existent because you don't have to worry.
That means you're going to do it.
Talk them into something. You're just
exactly.
Yeah, I'm here to help, and if I can, great, and if not,
that's the way to do it. Because if you're stressed, if you perceive your stress level as essentially non-existent, that means you actually are going to do the prospecting that you should, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
When you get that stuff going, these businesses can kind of build themselves.
Yeah, that's been our experience, and plus it's good to have, the resources and things you need. And that's another thing that we worked really hard in with Remote Client System, was making sure that, when you get in on this, you have everything you need to put this into action, right? So there's templates, there's all the stuff that Tom uses in his real business. There's examples, like we get everything to really set you up for success so that you can just go out and start hitting the ground running, right? And it's not something that is going to take anybody again, it's not complicated, so it's not going to take you weeks to get it down. Like you could pretty much go through the training, and within probably a day or two, you could be up and running, and sending stuff out and getting feedback and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're really excited about it.
And making sales.
Yeah, and making sales.
And getting paid.
Yeah, and getting paid, which is really a great feeling when you get paid.
When you first burst through that, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a life-changing experience. So awesome. Buddy, I love this thing. I think it's a much needed product. I'm really excited about it. When are you actually launching this? When is this going to become available for people to buy?
So it goes live on October the 8th at 11 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
And so there's an early bird pricing there. So, watch out for Lee's email, because you want to get in on that. So why pay more when you don't have to? And
exactly.
There's some great bonuses we have lined up with it and stuff like that. So
one more quick question. Upsells.
Yep.
Everybody always wants to know about the upsell. I'm going to ask you 2 questions about upsells. Number one, do you have to buy any of the upsells to make this work? Number one. And number two, can you, just in broad strokes, can you give us a little idea what's headed people's way in terms of upsells?
Sure. So Nick and I really, we have a philosophy in our community about upsells. Like we think anything that you purchase from us, initially should contain everything you need to make that thing work, right?
Amen.
So that's really a core philosophy, and we hold to that. So you do not need to buy any of the upgrades to make what you pick up work, right? What we have found helps people, though, is some people want, they just want some more help. They want more things. They want more templates or whatever. So usually what we do in this product's no different. We have like a power pack offer that we put on the back end, and it's just additional marketing and sales materials and things that will help you, move a little quicker with what you have. Like, you don't need them. We give you that stuff in the front end as well. It's just additional things that can help you out with that. So that's what we have. That's really the only upgrade that we have there. So, I mean, we don't make it super complicated. Again, we hate that when we go to buy something, right, and it's like, you're at your computer for 20 minutes. Do you want this? Do you want that? Like, no, like,
it does get a little tiresome. And you guys are such quality guys, both of you. So, and I already knew the answer to the question before I asked it. I mean, because that's really the only ethical way to do this. So basically the upgrade in this case is just more of the marketing material type stuff, more of the templates, which frankly, guys, for those of you who are looking at this video, and if you know Tom and Nick, then you already know the quality of the stuff that they put out, and that really, as long as you got the cash, you probably should buy that. But just take it from me, guys. Anybody looking at this, if you don't know Tom and Nick, they're golden. Seriously, I mean, they are really ethical. They're real pros. And again, you don't have to have the upgrade, but if you got the cash, you'd be almost kind of crazy not to get it. So you decide, but to my mind, I would buy it in a New York second. Tom, this has been a ton of fun. I'm really excited about your product. I'm really happy to talk to you again. And
yeah, it was really great talking to you too, Lee.
Yeah, you want to tell my guys goodbye?
Yeah, well, here on Maui, we say, mahalo for watching, which is thank you. And look forward to seeing you guys on launch day. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to Lee or to Nick and myself. We can help you out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And folks, you will be getting my emails. If you're on my list, you get my emails. And, it's going to have some cool stuff. I'm really behind this product. I love this thing. I'm adding some cool bonuses, and I'm adding some extra instructional stuff that's honestly that you don't need, but it's going to be basically like you shouldn't do this, pouring lighter fluid onto a fire. Okay. Don't do this. You could hurt yourself, but it's a good thing to do in your business. And I'm going to provide you that lighter fluid. So thank you very much for looking at this. Love you guys. Talk to you all very, very soon.